This is Gilly Crenshaw with PBBJ Consulting Experts. This will be our first video that we're doing. I kind of wanted to give our clients the ability to kind of see exactly some of the types of things we do as a consulting agency. We actually give our clients the know-how, the ability, the tutelage to go after the creditors legally to dispute their items, inaccuracies, and unauthorized inquiries. So we kind of run the full gamut with showing our clients how to get their credit back on track. So what our first video is going to be about, what you're looking at is a basic pie chart of exactly how the credit score is calculated. All 5 of these factors will determine ultimately what type of credit score that you'll end up getting, and all of these things are factored into how much money a creditor will give you for a revolving installment account, and I'll go over all of that in just a second. What I wanted to do was put together a video. I was explaining all of this stuff left and right when people were asking, okay, how does it work? What does it do? How do you boost the score? How do we do this, that, and the other? Well, everything kind of comes back to this pie chart. So let's start at the top with the largest one. 35% of your score is your payment history. Okay? Anybody loaning you money is going to want to know what you've done in the past. How credit worthy are you? Do you have the ability to pay back? That's all credit is. Credit is the ability to pay back over time. This is exactly what the creditors want to do. They want to see exactly how you pay back. So they're going to look at your past records and they're going to say, yes, this person pays back. They have been for several years, or they have a tendency to go on and off, or they don't have the ability to pay back at all. This is actually the most important factor of your credit, or FICO, or Beacon, whatever terminology you want to use. This is the number one thing that lenders look at. Think about it. If you loan me money, you're going to want to know, what is my payment history? You're going to want to know a few things, but the main thing is, do I have the ability to pay back, and have I paid back in the past? Same thing is true with the creditors. They want to know the exact same thing. Okay. The second factor, and the second largest factor, goes by a few different names. Sometimes you hear it such as what is showing here as amount owed. Sometimes you see utilization, which is the one that I use. Sometimes you hear debt to credit or debt to income ratio, and they all mean the same thing. What that same thing is simply this: what is your utilization? What is your balance to limit? For instance, I have a $10,000 credit card. I use 2,500 of it. My debt to credit ratio, or my credit card utilization, or my overall utilization, debt to income, debt to credit ratio, is going to be 25%. That is pretty good. You want to keep it somewhere under 25%, in my opinion. Same thing is true if I have $10,000 and I've used $9,000, I only have 10% available. The creditors are going to look at that as not as favorable as somebody who's only used 25%. Here's another thing that we need to keep in mind. The creditors, when they're loaning you money, they want to know, do you have a buffer in case you get in trouble? What that means is this: if I have a $10,000 credit card, I've only used 2,500 of it, I have $7,500 available just in case of emergency. I will loan that guy more money faster and with a lower interest rate than I would loan someone who has the same exact credit score, same situation, that is 90% of gold. That's just common sense, and that's exactly how the creditors do it. Okay. 15% is length of time that the credit has been established. Why is this important? Same reason. The creditors want to know, how long have you had these accounts? How long have you been credit worthy? How long have you had this great debt to credit or utilization? Because if it's only 2 months, then you haven't shown the creditors anything. If it's 20 years and you've never missed a payment, you have all of these accounts and you've been maintaining them, that looks extremely favorable, and they're more apt to give you whatever you want. Okay, so that's why it's 15%. They want to know how long an account has been established. They want to know, how old is your oldest account and how new is your newest account. The reason the old account, let's say you've had an account for 20 years, you've maintained it, Yes, this person is going to pay back. What if they have an account that is only 2 months old, or a better example would be 9 months old. Let's say they have an account 9 months old, and the balance is 10,000, and you've used 9,500 of it. So you are overextended on that particular card, which is in fact going to bring your utilization down. That's 30% of your score. Yes, you're making your payments on time, so that 35% will stay up. But then you got length of credit. You only had it for 9 months, so it's also kind of on the low end. So that's why it's important, especially with new accounts, that you keep those balances low until they have time to get some longevity. Okay. 10% is mixture of credit. Mixture of credit would be you have an installment loan like your car payment. You have a revolving account like your credit card. You have a mortgage. You have a student loan. Maybe you have a recreational vehicle. All of those are different mixtures of credit, and it's 10% of your score. Really doesn't weigh in all that much, but you would rather be on the positive side of that than the negative. And then lastly would be your new credit. New credit is also, it's new credit slash inquiries. So you see these people, like one of my clients, which is a good friend of mine, has 32 inquiries. Okay. That means this person has been applying for everything. If they're going to get it or not, they're still applying. That hurts your score tremendously. Don't do that to yourself. Okay. Any unauthorized inquiries can be removed. Now I'm going to explain this really quickly, and then I'll go into why it's important. If I apply for ABC visa and I get ABC visa, I cannot challenge that inquiry for 2 years because I actually got the credit to go with the inquiry. However, if I apply for DEF visa and I get denied, I can challenge that as an unauthorized inquiry. Okay. So you want to keep the inquiries low. 3, 4 are good. Anything over 7, it starts to lower the score a little bit. But like I said, it's only 10% of the score. So what did we learn here? 65% of your credit score, which are the two largest and the two that people screw up the most, are on-time payments. Make your payments on time. Utilization, debt to credit ratio, debt to income ratio, or just plain out balance to limit. Keep your balances low, and then you never have to worry about your credit score dropping tremendously. The other 3 are only 35% of your score. The 65% is the most important. Now, all of them are important in the grand scheme, but you definitely want to make your payments on time. Pay them early if you can. Keep the balances low. And what I mean by that is, when it comes to keeping the balances low, I think people get a little confused on how that works. So let me explain exactly how that will work. If I have a $10,000 card and I use 9,500 of it and I pay all my bills, I use the card for everything, and right before my payment is due, I make a $9,500 payment, the creditors love you. Okay? They love you and they hate you. They love you because they know that you're utilizing their card. They hate you because you're not carrying a balance. Okay? If you want to use all 10,000 of it and then you pay it back down to where you only have 2,500, you pay it all the way down where you're only at 2,500. That's you still have 75% available. Your debt to credit ratio or utilization is only 25%. That's awesome as well. Okay. The people who have the high 700 scores do it that way. The people who have the 800 credit scores don't carry a balance. Okay. Despite what the creditors will tell you, not carrying a balance is how those people have those high 800 credit scores, or they're extremely, extremely diligent in the fact that they have very little utilization on the cards, meaning they're using 1, 2, 3, no more than 4 or 5% to keep those down to get those 800 credit scores, because that's how it gets calculated. Okay. Now let's talk about how all of these tie into maintaining and fixing your credit. As we dispute items or help you dispute items, as we get those accounts and inquiries off your credit score, what's going to happen? Well, remember, first thing we're going to do is dispute the negative items, the inaccuracies, and what have you. Once we get those out, your payment history is going to increase because you're getting rid of all of those things that you had, collection accounts and all the accounts that you were past due on. So that goes away. That's going to lift. That's 35%. That's going to lift it up. The balance to limit. Think about it. If you overall have $100,000 in credit and you have 75,000 of it that is negative, but you have one or two cards that are maybe it's your mortgage, your car payment, and maybe one credit card. Any of those mixture, if you're making payments on time and you've been paying for 2 or 3 or 4 years, once you get those negatives off, you're going to get, number one, length of time that you've had the account, 4 years. Payment history is flawless because you've never missed any payments on that account. And at that point, after 3 or 4 or 5 years, even if it's a mortgage, if it's a car loan, more than likely those balances are going to be pretty low, or they're going to be substantially lower than what you started, making the utilization look a lot better. Those two things are 75% of your score, and then you add in the length of time. That right there, I'm sorry, 65% of the score. So you'll be at 80% positive. So that's going to boost your credit score tremendously, depending on what you have remaining and what all was deleted. You'll hear some credit agencies, or if you've done your research, you'll see that they say don't remove everything off your credit, because in order for you to have a score, if you remove every single thing, then you have nothing, good or bad, that's been gaining motion. So you want to have something on there. So it's great if you have a credit card, if you have any account that's reporting that you've been making payments on time. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your vehicle. It's going to be your home. People will pay those before they pay anything else. Or if you have a small credit card that you pay on time every month and the balance is low, all of those things are going to help you maintain and boost the score tremendously. So that's kind of how it all ties in. If you have any questions, or I got kind of sick of going over this individually for everybody, so I wanted to put a video together. If you have any questions, once again, my name is Gilly Crenshaw. PBBJ Consulting Experts is our company. PBBJconsulting.com is our website. You can reach me directly at thespecialist@pbbjconsulting.com, and we'd be happy to answer any questions. I hope this sheds some light on exactly how the credit works. I wanted to put something out there besides just posting ads all the time and trying to get people interested. Maybe if I explain a little bit about what we do, how we do it, and how it helps you, maybe more people will be apt to jump aboard and let us kind of show you the way. We understand that there's at least 43.5 million people out there that have a 650 and under credit score. We can help all of those people. So if you're one of those people and you're a little weary about what we do, we're going to have a video series starting very soon that's going to kind of break down all of these barriers about credit, how we're going to help people. And we're definitely going to be doing split payments. We're going to implement a barter system. Maybe you are resourceful in a certain area, and maybe our staff or myself can utilize that for in lieu of payment. So with all of those things being said, have a great day. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Thanks and have a good night.